Hey everybody, how you guys doing? Long time. It's been like I think over a week on Lion's Den. I've been on William's channel. I think the one or two times. And look out for in a couple weeks. I'm gonna have Deacon Enoch on. I'm looking forward to that, and we'll have some other stuff on in the meantime. So today I wanted to make a quick response to Reason and Theology. Michael Lofton, he did a video regarding the declaration, announcement, whatever you want to call it, from the Coptic Church regarding the end of theological dialogue between the Orthodox and Rome. So I wasn't planning on doing a video today, so I'm going to do it quickly. We're going to go through his video, and I'm going to do a reaction to it because I think he misrepresented us on some points. And I hope it wasn't intentional. I don't think it was intentional. I think he just doesn't know because he's a Westerner, and Westerners don't understand us a lot of the time. So we're going to get into it. We'll watch his video, and then we'll go through. Peace and grace to you, brother. Okay. Let's do it.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Michael Lofton Show on Reason and Theology. Looks like bad news. The Coptic Orthodox Church appears to have suspended its dialogue with the Catholic Church. It looks like this happened yesterday in a plenary session of the Holy Synod of the Coptic Orthodox Church at the Saint Anba Bishop in Wadi Natrun papal residence. So it looks like the Synod of Bishops, Coptic Orthodox bishops, gathered together. They discussed all kinds of issues, one of which on the docket was to suspend dialogue with the Catholic Church for the foreseeable future. So that's what we're going to talk about, and I'll give you as many details as I've been able to discover. But first, let me remind you, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. More people subscribe, like, and comment. More people will be reached with this content that you appreciate right here at Reason and Theology. So go ahead and take a moment to hit that subscribe button for me if you don't mind. Well, yeah, this is just bad news. Now, since it happened yesterday, I'm not seeing a whole lot of reports about this. So I'm a little skeptical. However, I have seen enough to believe that it looks like this did happen. It looks like there's evidence for it. I mean, I don't have video footage. It appears. I'm going to share my screen. Should be able to see now where the bishops got together. Coptic Orthodox Church Synod rejects same-sex relations, suspends dialogue with Catholics. So I think you know probably where this is going. Again, on the docket are all kinds of things: restoring monastic life at this monastery, recognizing that monastery, establishing this office, all kinds of just stuff on the agenda. But notice point number 6 that is here. And again, this is the text of the decisions and recommendations of the Holy Synod. So recommendations of the Holy Synod. In fact, I'll read this little preface real quick. The plenary session of the Holy Synod of the Coptic Orthodox Church was held on March 7th, 2024, yesterday. His Holiness the Pope, Tawadros II, delivered a speech at the opening session, in which he spoke about the importance of fruit in the life and service of the shepherd through the parable of the unfruitful fig tree. The main committees of the Holy Synod held their annual meeting starting last Monday, and for 3 days at the papal headquarters in St. Mark's Cathedral to discuss the reports submitted to them by their subcommittees. The Church announced its opinion on the issue of homosexuality through a statement issued by the Holy Synod. In its statement, the Church emphasizes its rejection of same-sex relations, supporting her opinion with many biblical verses that clearly declare the rejection of such relationships that are contrary to the human nature that God created, which is the Catholic position, right? Which is something that we have even reasserted and expressed as recently as last December in Fiducia Supplicans. That once again, those over same-sex acts and unions cannot be at all blessed by the Church, and they are disordered. They deviate from the will of God. The only thing that is in accordance with the will of God as far as sexual activity is between a man and a woman open to procreation. So we have once again restated exactly what they're restating here. But notice item number 6. after consultation with the sister churches of the Eastern Orthodox family. So after consulting with Eastern Orthodox, which again, Coptic Orthodox are not in communion with. They're not in communion with Eastern Orthodox. But after having a discussion with the Eastern Orthodox, which is kind of odd here, since they're again not in communion with them, it was decided to suspend the theological dialogue with the Catholic Church. Interesting. Now you recall recently with the Russian Orthodox Church, they recently condemned and voted to condemn the document by the Catholic Church, Fiducia Supplicans, on baseless grounds, on grounds that they've misunderstood it. So I don't know if that factors in here or if it's entirely unrelated, but I'll point this out. It says they've decided to suspend the theological dialogue with the Catholic Church. And once you suspend something for the foreseeable future with no date on when you're going to resume, that's the same as ending the dialogue. It's like telling, the person you're dating, hey, I feel like we need some time apart.
Okay. All right. We'll continue in a little bit. Let me talk about this point. So first, he's saying he read the translation of this announcement, declaration, whatever you want to call it. And he thinks that the Coptic Church was talking to the Eastern Chalcedonians because it said Eastern Orthodox. So Oriental and Eastern are synonyms. They mean the same thing. The reason why the Eastern Orthodox call themselves the Eastern Orthodox, it's a Western naming convention. The reason why Oriental Orthodox call themselves Oriental Orthodox is because it's a Western naming convention. These are Western naming conventions for the West to know how to classify, categorize, and talk about these different communions of churches. Each of us claim the same exact name. So there's this random fool on Twitter, Max or whatever the hell his name is, who keeps saying, you guys didn't call yourselves Oriental Orthodox until recently. Yeah, we started speaking English recently. Sure. We don't call ourselves Oriental Orthodox. You call us Oriental Orthodox, and sometimes, so that you know who we're talking about, we'll call ourselves Oriental Orthodox for you. But historically, we've never called ourselves Oriental Orthodox. We call ourselves the Orthodox Church, or we call ourselves the Catholic Church. We don't call ourselves Oriental Orthodox. You call us that. So Michael Lofton is reading a translation of this Arabic original, and it was either translated manually or maybe in some kind of program where the word is translated to Eastern instead of Oriental. Throws Michael Lofton off, because for him it's like you got to get all these exact words right for these naming conventions or he's not going to understand. So instead he should be nuanced enough and charitable enough and whatever all the other words he uses to think, oh, maybe it's not making sense. Why would the Coptic Church? It says the Coptic Church is talking to the Eastern Orthodox. That's a whole communion, and they're one particular see. Or they are talking to the other particular sees within their own communion and think, what about maybe the original language? So let's see. Let's see what the original language says. Okay, here you go. So this is the Arabic. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is the sixth point. He showed it, the sixth one. بعد التشاور مع الكنائس الشقيقة في العائلة الأرثوذكسية الشرقية. This is the word here. الشرقية. It means Eastern / Oriental. It's the same word. How else can we say something that's Orient or East? It's only one word in Arabic. تقرر تعليق الحوار اللاهوتي مع الكنيسة الكاثوليكية. Okay, so بعد التشاور, after consulting, مع الكنائس الشقيقة, the sister churches or the near churches, like the close churches to us, في العائلة, in the family, the Orthodox family, العائلة الأرثوذكسية, the Orthodox Eastern or Oriental, same word, الشرقية, العائلة الأرثوذكسية الشرقية. Okay, الكنائس الشقيقة في العائلة الأرثوذكسية الشرقية. So this is the word. This is the original text. So then The meaning here is the Oriental Orthodox, because the family, العائلة, the family of the near churches to us, the Oriental Orthodox. So why would a particular see talk to the entire communion? No, they're talking to their own communion of sister churches. That's what the word is here. So, so clearly, Michael Lofton couldn't understand what that is, and the meaning here is Oriental Orthodox. So, after consulting with the other Oriental Orthodox, we have come to the decision to suspend theological dialogue with Rome. So now, regarding what he said to what is kind of the preface and what happened before, we'll get into more of that. Let's watch more of his video. 1 second.
We're going to take a little time apart, then come right back together. No, that's not what that means. That means y'all are breaking up. So to speak of suspending theological dialogue in this kind of context means, yeah, we're not going to continue the dialogue with Catholic Church for now. And then reevaluate the results that the dialogue has achieved since its beginning 20 years ago, which sounds like an excuse to me because you can evaluate those results while continuing the dialogue. It's kind of like, again, your boyfriend or your girlfriend comes to you. Yeah, so we're gonna take some time apart. Oh, wait, why? What's wrong? What happened? I just need some time to focus on myself and figure myself out. Wait, hold on. What? You can do that while still dating me. This sounds like an excuse. That's what this comes across to me like. Again, assuming it's authentic, if it seems to be, I'm more than happy to come out and say, if somebody comes and shows, oh no, this is completely all made up, this didn't happen, these various Coptic Orthodox websites were just all making it up. Okay, great, I'm more than happy to set the record straight, but it doesn't look like this is made up. So it looks like this is what it is. And it says, and establish new standards and mechanisms for the dialogue to proceed. So if we're going to proceed, you have to jump through these hoops, Catholics. Wait, hold on, huh? So yeah, and that because from the Catholic perspective, papal supremacy, those who would deny any of the dogmas of the Catholic Church, and those who are formally separated from the headship of the Pope are in schism. Whether they're culpable for it, that's a different question, but that is what it is objectively speaking. From the Catholic perspective, we're not in schism, we're not in heresy. From our perspective, everyone else who is not in full communion is either in heresy or in schism and or both. Now, again, whether they're culpable for it, different question. We're just talking about objectively speaking. But from our perspective, we're not in wrong here. But we've still been willing to put that to the side to have dialogue with these other churches. Not only that, we've even gone to the extent of allowing the Coptic Orthodox to come to Rome and celebrate their liturgies commemorating some of their saints that were excommunicated by the Fourth Ecumenical Council. We've gone to great lengths to continue the dialogue and have shown a great number of gestures. So to all of a sudden, we're gonna break it off and we just need to reevaluate ourselves and reevaluate the dialogue and discussion and I just need to focus on myself kind of thing. And if we ever come back, you're gonna need to jump through these hoops. Not a good move because we're not in the wrong here to begin with. And this just doesn't seem right. I think I understand what's going on though. Doesn't excuse it, but I think I understand what's going on. Here's my theory. Share my screen again. You recall just as recently as May, dialogue with Coptic Orthodox was going great. There was no issue. Pope Francis and Pope Tawadros II praise ongoing Catholic Coptic dialogue. Things are going good. And again, we're just accommodating the Coptic Orthodox left and right. What happened? What happened between then and now? Well, at this synod, you've already seen that they reassert their doctrine that, homosexual acts are wrong, homosexual relationships are wrong. Okay, that's fine. That's what we also believe. But isn't it the case that many Catholics and non-Catholics have been reporting that has recently changed in the Catholic Church? Haven't a ton of Catholic content creators and a ton of Catholic news agencies and a ton of secular news agencies been telling you that the Catholic Church changed that and is now blessing gay unions and is now embracing homosexuality with its document Fiducia Supplicans in December? You know what else? Look at this. Back in January, there was a meeting. Joint International Commission for Theological Dialogue between the Catholic Church and Oriental Orthodox Churches. So this is after Fiducia Supplicans. January 22nd through the 26th of this year. And watch this. At this meeting, the first session then continued with a discussion on the Declaration Fiducia Supplicans on the Pastoral Meeting of Blessings published December 18, 2023 by the Dicastery for the Doctrine of the Faith. So they're having a discussion about Fiducia, followed by a press release concerning the reception of Fiducia published January 4th. So that clarification, which was very, very clear. The document was clear. The press release is clear. Blessed persons, not the union. By the way, that's the Coptic Orthodox view too. So we actually are in agreement on this, whether they realize it or not. The Coptic Orthodox position is you can bless persons, but not their union. So persons who are attracted to other persons of the same sex, you can bless persons, but not their union. You can bless the sinner, but not the sin. Catholics, Orthodox, Coptic Orthodox, we're in union on that, whether they realize that or not. We hold the same view, whether they realize that or not. The document was abundantly clear. The press conference was abundantly clear. What wasn't clear is everything that you're being told in the news, which I've documented thoroughly on this channel. What isn't clear is everything that you've been told by other Catholics on social media. That created a lot of confusion. And watch what happens. They're having this discussion, despite how clear the document is, despite how clear the press release is. So even if you think the document isn't clear, gosh, the press release on January 4th is. On December 23rd, Bishop Kyrillos sent to the Dicastery for promoting Christian unity on behalf of the Oriental Orthodox members of the Commission. So on December 23rd, right before the press release, on behalf of the Orthodox members, a document entitled Request for Clarification on Fiducia Supplicans from the Oriental Orthodox Churches. So he sent it right before the press release, but then the press release comes out. Watch what happens. Having received an unofficial written response. So they got a response, but it's unofficial. I don't know from who. It doesn't say from who. Could be some low-level guy at the Dicastery. Could be Fernandez. I have no idea because it doesn't say. But it's an unofficial response from someone at the Dicastery for the Doctrine of the Faith. The Oriental Orthodox members found it insufficient and asked for further clarifications. So they're claiming it wasn't clear whatever they got in response from whoever this was. I don't know if that's true because I haven't seen the response. I don't know if they got something that was really clear. Here's what I do know. The document's clear, and that January 4th press release is abundantly clear, so they're without excuse. If a layman like I can understand it, they should be able to understand it as bishops and theologians, right? Because look, if we're going to have discussions about Christology and work through those issues, those are much more complex than the issues involving fiducia. So you can understand the issues surrounding the two natures of Christ and the debate there. Well, you should certainly be able to understand fiducia supercon. So there's no excuse here, regardless of what they got back, regardless of how clear or not clear it was. They're saying, hey, it wasn't clear. I want more clarification. Watch. They requested further clarification. Now, it doesn't tell us if they got more clarification or not, but what they did get is that January 4th press release that was abundantly clear. Not to mention the document itself is clear enough. So I want to just say, you shouldn't even have to ask for clarification. If you have to ask for clarification, there's a problem. Because you should be a theologian of a caliber. If you're in these discussions and dialogues, you should be a theologian of the caliber who should be able to sit down and read fiducia supplicans with no problem. If you find fiducia supplicans problematic as a theologian, I question your ability to have any discussions in theology, especially surrounding Christology. Because again, those are much more complex questions than what you find being discussed in fiducia. So if you're on the team and having these discussions with the Catholic Church and Christology, I got to question whether you should even be on that team at this point. It was already clear. You shouldn't even have to ask. But they did ask. They got a response. They say it wasn't clear. January 4th press release at the very least is clear, without excuse in my opinion. So it says they also requested that pastoral and moral issues be added to the agenda of the commission, a request which will be discussed by a next joint coordinating committee. And they asked for this clarification due to the likelihood that this may be discussed in many of their holy synods that are coming up. And again, this was in January. So what did come up? Well, the synod that just took place, right? So it looks like they did have these decisions or these synods coming up. They were asking for clarification. Don't know why, because it was already abundantly clear and you should already know all of that. But okay, gonna have to look past that fault. And then they also requested pastoral and moral issues be added to the agenda of the commission. So we're going to have to talk about pastoral and moral issues in further discussions. But to me, it looks like those aren't going to happen because now they're saying they're voting and recommending that they suspend theological dialogue with the Catholic Church and give these odd reasons, which are no reasons at all. Reevaluate the results of the dialogue and establish new standards. So they don't really say what it is, but it's clear what it is. It looks to me like they've bought into the narrative about fiducia supplicans. That's to me what it looks like. There's no other explanation. Dialogue was going great. All of a sudden, they're asking for clarification of fiducia because they're saying it's going to be coming up in one of our synods. Then in the upcoming synod, then in the synod, they're restating their position about same-sex relations, and then they suspend their dialogue with Catholic Church. I mean, what's 2 + 2? Well, 2 + 2 = 4. It's pretty clear what the reason is. They believe that the Catholic Church has now adopted a position incompatible with their position on same-sex unions. But that's, of course, as we know, propaganda. Very clear. We are blessing the persons, not the union. That's also the Coptic Orthodox position, so they would be hypocrites to deny that and push against that. So it has to be based on a misunderstanding. A misunderstanding that is, in my opinion, without excuse on their part, because they should be theologians of the highest caliber. They should know better. I understand somebody who is not trained in theology, not knowing their left from their right on this. I get it. Totally get it. They're without excuse, because these are bishops and theologians. They should know better. So I don't see any excuse for this. And to then talk about, well, for Catholics, to have a discussion with the Orthodox in the future, oh, you Catholics are going to have to jump through hoops. Excuse me? We've bent over backwards for you guys, and we're not even in the wrong here. You shouldn't be talking about standards and mechanisms for dialogue to proceed. You got this backwards. So to me, it looks like, in fact, when they realize they made a mistake and they want to come back and have a dialogue, I feel.
All right. So let's see what, let me catch up to the comments I was watching before I get into it. Brother, grace and peace. To be alternate, thank you, appreciate it, Ashwin. All right, let's do it. Okay, so the rest of the video is just him giving relationship advice, whatever. So just to kind of give you guys background, I have a lot of Roman Catholic friends, Chaldean Catholic friends, priests, lay people. You guys know I'm very close with Elijah Yassi, his brother Enoch, and William Albrecht, Eric Ibarra, the Chaldean church near me, the church of the cathedral, the priests. Sam Shamarun's Chaldean parish, the priest there is one of my best friends. So I don't, this isn't about, Catholics versus Orthodox here, but I'm just clarifying because Michael Lofton, for some reason, is offended because we don't like this document that they put out. So let me give the background. So the document came out. The Oriental Orthodox were very annoyed and worried. What is this? This is embarrassing. You know who else is annoyed and worried and embarrassed? The Eastern Catholics. The Middle Eastern Catholics. They don't know what in the hell this is. So you can explain, but it's you're talking to a community, but you're using Western culture to talk to them, and it doesn't work. That never works, right? So now let's get to the point of the video. with Lofton. So in December, we the Coptic Church, they had the document that he showed, the LA Copts thing that he showed on the screen. That was from December. January, we met with the Roman Catholic Church to ask for clarification. The clarification that we received um, did not comfort us at all. He's saying you shouldn't have even asked for clarification because it's clear. Well, I would tell Michael Lofton, it's so clear that the entire Roman Catholic Church is confused about it. That's how clear it is, right? So then we, the Oriental Orthodox, we can't be confused, but the Roman Catholics within each other are confused. And then he would say, well, I don't know why everybody's confused. Well, that's just matter of fact. That's reality. Sorry to tell you. You have people, two guys holding hands and priests blessing them. What does that mean? What does that give the impression of? What's the context here? I asked an Abuna yesterday. I asked one of our priests yesterday, Oriental Orthodox. I said, Abuna, if a random guy walks up to you at a grocery store, asks for a blessing, you gonna bless him? He says, yeah, of course. Okay, if two random guys walk up to you at a grocery store, you're gonna bless them? Yeah, of course. If two guys holding hands walk up to you asking for a blessing, are you gonna bless them? He goes, no, of course not. Why? Because the context. What is the impression here? What is going to be understood that he's blessing them being a couple? That is the context, right? That you're blessing, you're enabling them in their sin. This is not an apostolic tradition. This is not what we do. This isn't what we have received. The church promotes good and forbids evil. So when they come to you holding hands, you tell them, repent of your sin. That's what you tell them. Or you could pray. You could say, Lord, please, بالعربي نقول اهديهم, uh, guide them to the true path of repentance, so they can understand and and know that what they're doing is wrong. Not you bless them while they're holding hands and they think that, okay, you are going along with this. The context and what this is, how this is being framed and presented is confusing and misleading. Even if you have to lawyer it, it's still upsetting a lot of traditional Catholics. This isn't just about us. He's mad at us. He's saying, if you guys want to come back and talk to us, we need to do conditions. What are you guys doing us a favor? Uh, we weren't even happy we were talking to you in the first place with all this what you guys are doing. What are you talking about? Look how liberal you guys are being. Like with the Anglicans, we don't talk either. You guys are getting there. You guys, so we stopped conversations with the Anglicans a long time ago. Now we said it about you guys regarding theological dialogue. I'm not sure why he's so offended by us not talking to them. Um, we were talking about theology, Christology, Chalcedon, all the stuff that is preventing unity with the papacy, etc. But if you have such a big difference regarding morality, how could we continue theological dialogue when you have this huge thing, this elephant in the room of you have priests? Even if you tell me, okay, that's an abuse, then excommunicate the priest. If it's an abuse, make an example of the abusers, excommunicate, what's his name? James Martin, whatever his name is, excommunicate these guys, defrock them, laicize them, excommunicate them, and show this isn't what we believe. Why? How come in Oriental Orthodoxy we don't have this problem? How come we don't have the problem of a bishop baptizing a kid of two gay guys? We don't have this problem. Why? The kid is baptized on the faith of his parents. So if the parents are gay, then what faith is this? So glory to God for preserving his 2,000-year-old one holy Catholic Apostolic Church, uh, who in the West you call Oriental Orthodoxy. And we have been persecuted from the beginning. the Jews, the pagans, the Arians, um, the Chalcedonians, the Muslims, and we're still here. Glory to God. Look out, guys, for the future. We're going to have maybe a continuation of some of the series that we've already started, plus the show with Deacon Enoch in a couple weeks. And William had told me that Turretin fan wants to have a dialogue with me on the Eucharist. I don't know what channel it'll be on, either mine or William's. We'll see. So keep an eye out for that, and pray for me. God bless. Take care, everybody. Like, subscribe, share, do everything that you guys are supposed to do. By the way, in Lofton's short, he's put like this supposedly Egyptian meditation music, whatever the hell. That's not even Egyptian music. Please, Michael Lofton, stay with the Western stuff. Don't play with our stuff, please. It's not working for you. It's been like 3 or 4 times. It's not working. Okay, unless you really want to get nuanced and read and all the stuff that you tell people to do, then we could talk about it. In the meantime, you're like 0 for 4. Take care, everyone.
على صدير نقطي موت